Okay, they asked us to find the derivative. Okay, please memorize this rule. It's not on the gold notes, but you should memorize it anyway. Other than moving constants, I typically do not find it helpful to rearrange before I do something. There are exceptions. For example, if I'm finding the integral of this, it is going to help to rewrite like so. So it takes a bit of experience to kind of recognize when rewriting helps, but most of the time I just take whatever they give me and just go. So they want the derivative of, they want dy dx, which means what I need to do is apply the derivative operator to both halves. So I get d over dx of sine of xy is equal to d over dx of x. Questions? It's always better for you to think with me rather than watch. So raise your hand if you know the next thing I write. Hands up. What is the next thing I write? Let's go, Timmy.
You do cosine of xy and then d of xy over dx. And then the other side is just going to be 1.
Okay, show your hands if you knew that. Point to Timmy. Question?
Oh, and if when you go from cosine to sine, then it's negative sine.
Look at your golden notes.
Yeah.
Yeah, the golden notes have a reminder of that. I just like to use Susie's circle. So the derivative of the sine is the cosine. The derivative of the cosine is the negative sine. So, that answer your question?
Yeah.
Point. Anybody else? Now I have to use the product rule. Don't forget your, no equal sign here because I've got my equal over there. So cosine xy. Make sure you have a big parenthesis there because this is going to become two terms. Both terms must multiply by this. So I take the second times the derivative of the first plus first. Back up. Plus first multiplied by derivative of the second. Questions? Cool. So cosine xy y plus xy prime. Now I have to get the y prime isolated, so hands up, what would I do next? Think with me, hands up. What do I do next? Got to get the y prime by itself. There we go. Let's go, Andrea.
Divide both sides by cosine xy.
So that's going to give me y plus xy prime is equal to 1 over cosine of xy. How many knew it? Point, 2 for Andrea. Next step. Hands up. Think with me. Next step. Cameron.
Would you subtract y from that side?
So we get xy prime is equal to 1 all over cosine of xy. Subtract y. How many knew it? Point, 2 for Cameron. Please.
Would you throw the y in the numerator? Or like 1 minus, or sorry, 1 minus y, or do you have to keep it separate?
The y here?
Yeah. Like, could you just put it on in the numerator?
Oh, up here.
Yeah.
Oh, good question. No, because the most fundamental rule of algebra is I can perform any mathematical, well not any, but I can perform a mathematical operation to the left, an equivalent mathematical operation to the right, but I have to do it to the whole half at once. So what I'm doing is I'm taking this entire half and subtracting y. Now I'm going to take this entire half and subtract y. Point. So next thing, divide by x. Let's get some space here. We're going to get y prime equals 1 over cosine xy subtract y all divided by x, which if this were FRQ, you quit and you're done. Just multiple choice, I got to make it look like one of their answers. So the first thing I notice is, hey, we just got to clean up the fraction. This is a lot cleaner. So I'm going to do the following. If you don't see it, talk to me, Cameron.
Yeah, I don't really get like what's the point of adding like the y cosine x y over cosine x y.
Basically, just keep talking until this makes sense. I look at all the answers and I'm like, those are pretty clean rational functions, pretty clean fractions. Mine isn't. So I've got kind of a messy thing in the numerator, plus I've got a denominator. So I'm going to combine the numerator together. To do that, I've got to have a common denominator. So I multiply the y by this special version of 1. That box is just 1. So y multiplied by 1 is just the same thing, just written differently. That allows me to now combine those two numerator fractions, like so. Now I can get 1 minus y multiplied by cosine of xy divided by cosine of xy, and all of it is divided by x. I don't know if I answered your question though.
No, I don't think you answered it.
Okay, point. Here we go. Okay, dividing by x is the same thing as multiplying by 1 over x. So if you take this x and you multiply the numerator by 1 over x, now you get their answer. Questions?
That'd be y prime.
Point. Well done. Thank you. Awesome. You know, let's have a different